Hey everyone, I'm going to be doing a quick video that was a request. This one's going to be about Minnesota cold weather gear and everything. What you can do to stay comfortable if you plan on going out in the minus 15, minus 30 range. So let me get started with the base layer. Base layer, this is going to be considered a heavy wicking, where you can actually use this as a standalone in the fall. This is my government issue waffle top. This is made by Polartec. I have the NSN number. NSN number for the base layer and the pants is 8415-01-538-8745. This is considered a large regular. Yeah, here are the pants right here. These are the waffle pants. If I get them a little closer to you, you'll be able to tell why it's called a waffle. That's the inside right there. So this is what you're gonna have to use as a base layer and everything. So the way this is set up, or well, the way that what this kind of base layer is recommended for is for relatively low activity out in minus 30. Minus 30, if y'all don't know, it's really, really cold. There's a lot of people who've never been out in minus 30, and it's quite an eye-opener. A lot of people are used to, like the 30, 32 freezing range, but when they're in the sub-zeros, that's a whole different ball game. But for my recommendation, you want to use a heavy base layer. That way you don't sweat too much. If you do sweat, you're gonna end up your bones are gonna freeze and everything. What I mean by bones freezing, if you haven't been out where it's like minus 10, yet there's still kind of like a moisture in the air, your joints feel so sore. You feel like you're 30 years older than you actually are. So this will prevent that from happening. So if you have this base layer that hugs you pretty well and keeps your heat in, but also doesn't allow you to sweat, wicks the moisture away from your body, this is what you're going to want to use. I got these for free. They were issued to me back in 2012. But I'm sure you can find this at a Army, Navy surplus store for, close to like $40. I know base layers like made by Polartec, they can be pretty expensive. I'm pretty sure since Polartec won the contract for supplying the NATO forces with cold weather gear, they can charge whatever they want because the government will pay anything for quality gear, or yeah, not so quality gear. Sometimes we find out. But yeah, that's what you need for a base layer. If you don't plan on like taking any of your layers off, this would be fine. You don't need anything else. The Arctic snow pants are what you're gonna want to use for the outside and everything. So as your shell, there's different layers and everything, and there's called the inner layer, which is the base, and then the shell. Something that people don't really understand when they're dressing for cold weather is you're gonna want to have your base layer be nice and tight to you, but your shell layer kind of loose fitting. That way you can move, and also it doesn't restrict any body heat and blood flow and everything. Something I'm a firm believer in. I'm a firm believer in wool. That's why I have this wool Anorak jacket. Anorak jackets, for people who are not familiar with them, they're pretty much the new school version of the Capote jacket. And Capote jackets are what the pioneers used to use, the colonial pioneers, when settling areas in the Midwest. Things got really cold. They're out here in the prairie where there's no protection from trees and everything. So Capote jackets are just thick wool This one right here is an Anorak jacket, which is just the new school version of the Capote jacket. This is made of thick wool and everything. Has an accessory pouch right here, so that way you don't have to go through layers upon layers of your cold weather gear to access something. So if you want to put your phone in here, your sunglasses or whatever, this jacket is really, really nice. Anorak jackets are also known for your modern bushcraft clothing. Bushcraft meaning, you know, like you, reaching your roots and everything. What this jacket allows you to do is it allows you to access your pockets, because the tail's cut kind of high up and everything, so you can access your back pockets or anything else. Also, the hem of this large Anorak jacket goes all the way down to 2 inches above my knees, so it kind of keeps the heat in pretty well. You know, it looks kind of weird. It looks a little bit like a skirt, but yeah. If you don't want anything to be too loose fitting and everything, you can always cinch it down with the gear belt, like I mentioned in my previous video. The gear belt for the bushcraft tools and everything. You can cinch that down and wear your tomahawk on your outside and your bushcraft knife, your trail knife on the other side and everything. And then you keep all of your smaller accessories inside the hand warming pockets. But yeah, wool. The reason why I'm a firm believer of wool is because it's been issued to our armed forces since even before we were a country. Every single armed forces unit has been supplied a wool blanket from the Revolutionary War on to modern day. Reason why wool is so useful is because it's a multi-purpose item. You can use it as shelter and everything. Roll yourself up in it and still stay warm, even if it's wet. You'll still stay warm. So that's why it was kind of like a battlefield basic when they were walking around with their gear and everything. One thing that you would always notice is a canteen, and that has like a belt clip and everything, keeping their wool blanket rolled up and everything. So I apply the same logic. Wool keeps you pretty well insulated even if it gets wet. So that's why I'm a huge fan and firm believer of wool. So I have these wool NATO gloves right here. These ones I'm sure you can find at a surplus store for under 15 bucks. Right here, if you take a quick peek at it, I'm gonna put my hand in there. This thing, if you're a hunter and everything, rifleman or skier, or you just want your if you're not a fan of mittens and everything, you just kind of like want a mitten / glove hybrid, this is actually a pretty good option. Looks like an alien hand. Keeps your other 3 digits kind of close together just to keep them warm, and keeps your pointer finger accessible. So if you're gonna shoot an animal or whatever, or go skiing, just hold on to the grip of the pole. You can do that too. These wool gloves, they keep me really warm, and these are technically liners for NATO Armed Forces choppers. Choppers are just larger mittens that are just meant for keeping your hand warm. They're not meant for any utility. Utility meaning like your hands are not going to be mobile enough to do anything with them. So if you're going to take your chopper off, this gives you a little bit more flexibility, and take the outer layer off, and you can use this. These are nice and warm. I keep these are my primary pair of gloves throughout all of the winter and everything. Whenever I go hiking on the trails, I wear these. So wool's always a great thing to consider. Here I have another wool thing. I use this as my hat / this is Balclava. Keeps your ears covered, keeps your nose covered, and keeps your eyes exposed and everything. That way you can see everything. The one thing about this is you can actually wear sunglasses because of snow glare. Snow glare out here in the Midwest is kind of a huge problem. If you're like on ski trails or whatever and the sun's pretty level with the ground, you're going to experience something that people call snow blindness. and it's where everything looks completely whited out, and you can't tell the difference between the sky and the ground, and it's painfully bright. So you can actually wear your sunglasses. This stretches far enough that way you can wear your sunglasses underneath it. So this is a good thing to have. Keeps you from breathing too much cold air in, because that's how you get pretty sick, and you get shortness of breath of that too. So yeah, you don't want to have any bronchial spasm happening from breathing in too much cold air. So this is another good thing. All right, so I already covered the Anorak jacket. This thing's pretty heavy, keeps you warm. I like my gray, low-key clothing and everything. Earth tones are kind of my thing. Yeah, this is built just to keep you warm. Like, this is super warm, and you can stay out for long periods of time. This would even be great for like survival and everything. So the Anorak jacket. If you don't know what Anorak jackets are, this is a kind of a good preview of what one looks like. They're big, and they have a hood. So yeah, it allows you to keep your heat in pretty well. These are the Arctix pants. That's the brand, Arctix. A-R-C-I-T-I-X, Arctix. Yeah, these things are really nice. They're pretty, what a lot of people don't like about snow pants is sometimes they're pretty baggy and loose fitting. These ones are actually kind of trimmed to your body. The Arctix brand that I got it on Amazon for around, I think, $56. The hem is pretty short. You can actually modify the pants however you want. Me, I'm a shorter guy, yet I have a wider waist a little bit, like a 34-inch waist, and I have short legs but a longer torso. My torso makes up most of my height for whatever little height that I have. Yeah, you can customize these however you want to whenever you're going through the sizing options on mine and everything. But these things are fully waterproof, windproof, and well insulated. I think they said that. I'm going to look at the stat on this one quick. Well, it's made in Bangladesh. This is a large regular. Yeah, this is a, let me go over like the material and everything. The shell is 100% polyester. It's double and triple lined with Thinsulate on the inside. So yeah, this is going to keep you extremely, extremely warm. You'll probably sweat wearing all this gear and everything if you're extremely active, but that's why it's important to take breaks and everything, and make sure you don't sweat, otherwise you'll get your bones chilled. Last thing but not least, these are my hunting boots. These are my winter hunting boots. The more lightweight ones that I have are for spring and summer and everything when I'm out in the woods turkey hunting and everything. These ones are 2,000 gram Thinsulate. Sorry, 2,000. Some people might say, "Oh my God, that's kind of a little overkill." But if you're kind of like doing low activity, if you're not hiking, you're keeping your blood pumping and everything, these would be fine if you're just sitting still. But if your blood's pumping and everything, and people complain about their feet sweating and everything, it's always good to have the sealskin socks, which wicks moisture away from your feet and kind of like puts it in the boot instead. So for minus 30 degrees, I definitely think 2,000 grams of Thinsulate in your insulated boots are pretty good as a base and everything. So one thing I can't stress enough is the use of wool. Wool is pretty important and everything. Whole reason why I don't have the wool pants. I do have wool pants for one of my setups in there, for my skiing setup. That might be a little too small for me now, but wool pants. The thing about wool, as I mentioned before, is it'll keep you dry even when it's wet. So it'll keep you dry and it'll keep you warm. So that's the one thing I can stress about wool. And yeah, this kind of concludes like the cold Minnesota cold weather gear tutorial and everything. So if you plan to visit Minnesota anytime from late November to late March, you might be able to experience some beautiful -30 degree weather. But so far this year we haven't had any. Keeping my fingers crossed and everything, because nobody wants to go outside where it's so cold that it's hard to breathe. So hope you enjoyed. Definitely, if you're in the market for a new jacket, definitely take a look at the multi-purpose and very comfortable Anorak jackets made of wool. You can't go wrong with these. It's great for outdoorsmen and anyone who just includes the outdoors to be a huge part of their life. But yeah, take a look at it. Thanks for watching this video, and don't forget to click like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.